And it sounds surprising when you talk a lot about agents and having a small team, but I'd rather running a very small team of very talented people and let the small jobs and tasks to agents rather than having to work with hundreds of employees and colleagues.
Jules Minvielle is the co-founder and CEO of Olyzon and the guy quietly dismantling Programmatic while the rest of the industry clings to their dashboards like security blankets. Today, on the ADOTAT Show, he breaks down how he's doing it and why your DSP should probably start looking for a new job. He's built 2 companies before, but this time he's not duct taping AI to old infrastructure. He's replacing the whole damn system with autonomous agents that actually read briefs, pick shows, and plan media better than most humans. And definitely better than your bloated, buzzword-addicted staff.
Multi-billion-dollar complex federal court litigation. We do it day in, day out. And we've built a team dedicated to doing nothing but keeping you safe in the most dangerous litigation in the world. We're comfortable, or everybody else is horribly uncomfortable.
And with the litigation piece, we bring the compliance piece, right? That's what I'm adding. That's what my entire team is adding. We've built TCPA World only for you folks to help.
And now the host of the ADOTAT Show, the Dean of Data, the Rabbi of ROAS, the Prince of Performance, the Sultan of Strategy, the one, the only. Give us a huge applause to Pesach Lattin!
Welcome back to the ADOTAT Show on Pesach Lattin. Today I'm joined by Jules Minvielle, the guy who's trying to blow up legacy ad tech with something called agentic media. He's done 2 exits, built a CTV platform from scratch, and somehow made AI sound less like a buzzword and more like a plan. This one's for anyone who thinks programmatic is still working. Spoiler, it's not. Let's get into it. First of all, let's start with the polite fiction that people care about how others are doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I feel like I'm spending time with a legend. I spent so much time reading your content that I'm so happy to be here with you.
Same. Are you running on espresso and existential dread like the rest of us, or has the rise of agentic media have given you inner peace?
I've been working in the industry for 15 years, running small and big companies in the ad tech space, and I feel like agenting is great. I feel like a lot of energy. I feel like we can start over again. It's a fresh start for everyone, and I'm excited. I'm 40 years old, but I feel like I'm young again. I feel like I'm 25, ready to go on the market.
So the term agentic media refers to AI-powered agents that autonomously buy media, optimize results, and promise the kind of precision that makes legacy DSPs sweat through the logins. So when you say agentic, are we talking about Skynet and Prada or something more benign?
We are talking about AI taking autonomous decisions. You're right on targeting, but also on understanding what the context is. So when you talk about CTV, you think about the tons of contents that are available out there and that no one can really understand. And there are hundreds of millions of content. And as an advertiser, you cannot know the name of each show available out there. And so the agents can help you to translate a context into something that is meaningful. So yeah, it's not only about targeting. We are like AI and machine learning is not a new thing on the market. We've always been talking about this for ages, and we were using this as an excuse for black box, just on targeting. Here we are talking about agentic because it's in everything we do, including in the processes of just when we receive an email from a client, into giving an RFP answer to the client, into, of course, targeting and providing more contextual insights to the clients. But it's at the heart of everything we do as a company.
If last touch attribution worked, your waiter would take full credit for your meal. We make sure the chef gets credit too. Incremental.
So, Jules, can you walk me through a campaign that would have crashed and burned with traditional programmatic, crushed it with agentic setup?
Sure. What iAgent can do is that it can take a very raw brief. We are working with a lot of agencies. Sometimes, given where we sit in the value chain, we'll just receive an email that is just 10 lines explaining the context of the campaign, but we don't have a lot of insights that can be actionable. So the first part of the work that our agents do is that they take a very raw brief and translate into something that is normalized, where we understand what is a target in terms of audiences, where we have more info about the advertiser than what has just been given us by given us agency. So that's the first part where the agents work. They do some things that we could do ourselves that would take a lot of time. Then we translate this brief into normalized brief. Then we translate audiences into context, the keywords, and then from there we can select program by program. I insist at the program level and not only the channel level to make sure that we cherry pick the right programs. That's something that a human cannot do. I mean, of course, you can have a lot of humans doing it, but only agents can do it at scale to arbitrage, take the right decision. So it's basically creating an inclusion list that is updated every day based on the electronic programs that we have for each channel. So it's based on live information that we have to make sure that the inclusion list is always up to date.
So is this actually a foundational change in how CTV is going to be bought and sold?
I think so. CTV is interesting for the market because there is a lot of fragmentation on CTV, less than on display, but there is still a need for understanding the right context here. DSP, I know you're writing a lot about the DSP and SSP being challenged in the industry. We believe that CTV is a perfect example of that. There is a lot of value that can be brought by companies like ours and that challenge sometimes the needs of a DSP. We believe that DSPs are still useful to centralize all your digital buys, including CTV. You're not only buying CTV from your DSP, most of the time you're buying omni-channel. So you need to buy CTV from us. That's why our agents can be plugged into any DSP. We work with the Trade Desk, with Amazon DSP, with DV360, because our clients are still using those DSPs and because they find a lot of value in using their DSP. So it's not just about replacing the DSPs, it's about making sure that our agents can be plugged in any process that our clients are using. And that's a big difference between a platform and an agent. Agents are very agnostic. The platform is something where you have to log in. So sometimes we use the same platform as a very centralized place where you have to log in. The way we use platform here is to say that we have several agents that can be activated in multiple ways.
Do you think that programmatic is broken because it was designed that way or because no one wants to fix it?
I don't think it has been designed broken. I think it has been designed as something very smart to bring liquidity to the market. I think today it is broken because, some players have some interest in letting it operate this way. Let's be honest. We operate in an industry where not everything is always optimized. And that's why companies like ours exist, is because we bring value to the market and we can optimize a lot of things. But programmatic is not always performing.
So what do you think the problem is? Is it the tech of programmatic, the business model, or just old-fashioned stupidity?
It's probably a mix of everything. I don't think there is any stupidity here. I think there is sometimes a bit of laziness from some of the people who are spending on advertising. I mean, it takes a lot of energy, and you know that, to really understand what happens once you clicked on your button to buy an impression. And even for us, you have been in the industry for ages, it's not always easy to understand really what's happening in the background. And every single player that is in the value chain, what do they bring actually to the market? Sometimes it's not that obvious, but it's not that easy to understand either. And you don't know what happens if you remove one here and one there as an advertiser. So sometimes if everything works, it's okay to say, I don't want to touch anything. It works this way. I don't want to change my mind. So I think sometimes it's a bit of, I would say, yes. I mean, when things work, why would you change, right? As an advertiser.
Right, so why haven't publishers revolted? Is this like Stockholm syndrome or just the fear of losing scraps from the demand side?
I think the publishers are right to ask for more. So when you look at the ad spending coming from an advertiser, going to a publisher, there is some optimization that can be done here. And I think AI can change that. Pride ourselves to be a very small team, very efficient. One of the KPIs we look at is actually how much we can operate by staying a small team. So how much each of us can operate in terms of revenue, because it shows that we don't have to be too many with agents in an agent work and having some of our colleagues who are AI agents. We don't have to be too many to operate. And sometimes some of us get fat in the middle and we are too fat and we take too much compared to what we actually bring to the market. That can be true.
So imagine Netflix calls you tomorrow and says, fix our ad stack and we'll make another season of Emily in Paris. What would you do?
I will probably tell them to be bold and allow their advertisers to actually optimize at the program level. I think that some of the misconceptions that some publishers have is that if they open the kimono, the advertisers will cherry pick inventory and they will only pick Emily in Paris, to take your example, and they will not by whatever other program that they have on their platform. I think it's the opposite. If you show value to each program, and the value is actually in the context, if you show the value of each program, and you don't hide anything, and you don't try to bundle all of them in some genre category, you will actually bring more revenue to your platform. So that's for Netflix, not only Netflix, same for every platform. Everyone is bundling their inventory, and I think there is a lot of value that can be brought in unbundling this inventory and show the value of each show. That's actually what we do. We have a lot of conversations with publishers today, and the main worry that they have is that the advertisers will come and only want the shows that they know and they watch, when actually we believe the opposite. We believe that showing the context and the value of each show will actually bring more demand to shows that are underinvested.
So third-party identifiers in CTV have never been stable, and you've decided to have nothing to do with them, right? You lean in contextual data and AI to fill up the void. So how does contextual targeting actually work in your system? Are we talking about metadata, NLP on transcripts, or some black box AI wizardry?
We talk about actually showing each media buyer what the show is about. Giving a channel name is clearly not enough. I'm not talking about channel names in most of the cases, and some cases that are filled with like random words that don't mean anything. Even when you have like a proper channel name in your bid request, you don't necessarily know the show. And when you do have the show title or the content title, you don't know what the show is about. We can't, each of us, know each single show available out there in the market. So actually, we provide a lot of content, and that what is good with AI is there is no limit. We don't have to limit ourselves to IAB taxonomy. We can give a lot of information about what the show is about, and we can give that to the buyer so they can take their decision. So that's what our AI agents do. They take a show, they look at the transcript of the show, they actually know where the show is happening, what it is about, and not just about the genre. I'm talking about in every single scene, in every minute, what's the show, what is the show about, so we can then match it with the right campaign. It's not black box.
Is that metadata based, or how are you scraping that?
No, it's metadata based and transcript based, and then we look at any single information we can get about the show. It's too costly to look at each single frame in terms of picture for all the shows that are available. So we do it for the most watched show where we have the most volume, and for the rest we look at the transcripts for each show. And then and just I insist on that, it's not black box, because we give this information to the client. For each show they can have all the metadata, and they can, if you look at a show and if I send you the show card, any random show, you tell me, and you will see that what is actually in my show card is exactly what you will see in the show. But you can't probably watch all the hundreds of millions of shows that are available at that to do it yourself. So we do it with our agents.
So can you give us a campaign that proves that context outperforms cookies?
I mean, and you wrote that yourself in one of your newsletters, cookies are, it's an interesting beast, especially on TV. I think it's 1.6 user per device. So on TV, you have several users on the same device. You can't always know who is behind the screen. So what I can tell you is that you have 4, 5, 6 members watching the same TV screen in your TV screen. Can tell you is that the IP address won't tell you who is watching. The context will tell you. If you are watching a specific show, I can tell you if you are most likely the father, the mother, or the kid of the house, when a cookie cannot actually tell you that. So that's, I think, the example that comes to my mind, but that illustrates where actually context outperforms cookie-based targeting. Not talking only about the fact that, about privacy, I'm talking about just performance.
So if you had a meeting with Mark Zuckerberg and you had 60 seconds to explain why signal quality is more important than scale, what would you say, and preferably with interpretive dance? The dance is optional.
There are plenty of things that I would tell him, I guess. I mean, so many things. But probably not talking about this. I would probably tell him about the algorithms that are not optimized to make everyone feel good here, and that the social network is kind of killing our youth here. So that's probably the first thing I would tell him. Then I understand his point. Like for him, AI is the best way to hide or to just focus on the results. Context doesn't matter to him, and I believe he's wrong. As a brand, the content you associate your brand with matters. You cannot just make as if a brand was made out of thin air. A brand is created and associated with some values, brand values, and you cannot just run your brands in the middle of like to random kind of OnlyFans content that you find on Instagram that is redirecting to this kind of content or whatever. I think this does not create a brand. This is good for dropshipping kind of content. This is not good for.
So you've built two companies and you've exited them twice, and now you're building something again like a glutton for punishment. Here's the important question. Are you a masochist, or is this your ad tech version of CrossFit?
I think adtech is new to me because I'm doing it differently. I'm doing it with an AI native company. And I'm not talking about lipstick on a pig here. I'm talking about really being AI native. We launched the company after the largest language models launched, like 4.0 on OpenAI, and it changed everything in the way we operate the company. So I don't feel like I've been doing this for ages. I feel like, again, I'm starting a
totally
new company in a whole new world. It's new to me. It's just that it's same people I can work with, and I really enjoy that. I think there are very smart people in this industry, and it's fun to work with. So, I'm enjoying it. And, I'm doing this to change my landscape a bit. I'm going to move permanently to New York soon, in 1 month. So I'm going to do it not from Europe this time. So last companies, I operated them from Paris and then London. This time it will be from New York. So yeah, different story as well, different colleagues, different landscape. So that I'm excited.
So what's your personal checklist before saying yes to building something new? Is it data, people, or raw vengeance?
Definitely people. And it sounds surprising when you talk a lot about agents and having a small team, but I'd rather have running a very small team of very talented people and let the small jobs and tasks to agents rather than having to work with hundreds of employees and colleagues. I loved being and scaling big companies, but yeah, I enjoy more having a small team and having senior people working with me.
What's a mistake you made? What's a mistake you made in the past that you did not repeat with founding your current company?
Taking too much time to let people go.
Now you have an agent that fires them?
Kind of. No, I do it myself, but no, I think it's a common mistake that we all do. We all believe, most of us, founders and leaders, that people can change, people can adapt, and it's not just about people. It's about when it's not the right fit. I mean, there is no point in spending too much time. Everyone is losing their time, not just me as a founder, but the people who are not enjoying their job. I mean, so that's the number one mistake. I hope I'm not doing anymore.
So most founders seem to glamorize the grind, and you've done this multiple times. Is the hustle culture real, or is it an excuse to avoid therapy?
Are you asking me because I'm French? And I have a reputation as a French to not work enough? Is that where your question comes up?
Well, that would be I think that's the Spanish, especially Barcelona.
Spanish, sure,
nice,
yeah. I would be
a little siesta here and there.
I would be calling from Barcelona. That would be even worse, yeah.
Sleeping middle of the day?
No, exactly. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I like doing it again, and I think I can sign for another 10 years or 15 years, because I try to find the right balance, and I feel like my job is not about working 24 hours a day. It's about taking the right decision, and to do that, I need to rest. I need to work out. I need to spend time with my kids and my wife and my friends, and I don't...
Are they excited about New York?
They are. Everyone is excited about New York.
You're bringing them, I guess.
I am bringing them, definitely. My wife is really excited. My kids a bit less, but they have no choice, so it will work. And I don't think I could be doing this job again if I was not enjoying every day. Of course, I have long days. I travel a lot. There are a lot of compromise that need to be done. But yeah, my job is to make sure I take the right decisions. Always be available for my teams, but also to be just to rest. And I've noticed in the past that when I work too hard, I take wrong decisions, and it takes more time to catch up after.
So if you had a mentor or founder launching a DSP in 2025, what is the first warning you give, and how many curse words would it include? And I'll bleep you if you swear, don't worry.
It's a challenging space. Adtech is a difficult market, and when you want to launch a DSP, I guess you need to understand that not everyone is playing with the same rules here. Some companies in the industry keep for themselves exclusive inventory, and that is becoming the number one differentiating point for the DSPs right now. So if you launch your DSP and you want to be kind of old-fashioned DSP and you don't have any exclusive inventory, that's not an easy It's not an easy move. But that being said, I believe that there is a lot of optimization that can be done around user interface. I believe that people spend too much time in setting up campaigns, optimizing them, reading the reports, and doing things manually. Like over the past 6 months, all of us replaced Google by ChatGPT. And when your daily job as a media buyer is to log into a platform where you have to do the same kind of tasks as if you were 2 years ago. I'm not talking about 10 years ago. I'm talking about even a year ago. It sounds or it looks bad, So I think there is a lot of work to be done around there. User interface, prompting and chatting is becoming the new interface. And I would be a media buyer, that's what I would ask for. But the problem is that just overlaying the prompt over legacy tech is not going to help anyone here, because that's again lipstick on a pig, and you cannot replace AI native technology. So yeah, I would start from the ground and do real AI stuff with a nice dashboard that actually does the work in the background. I think today is easier than it was a few years ago to build a very complex technology thanks to AI. You have to have less engineers, you have to write less lines of codes because AI is writing them, and you just need to be smart. And then you can. That's a good thing. You can be very ambitious in the tech you build today because and thanks to AI. At least.
So my favorite part of the show is I get to strand you on a desert island. You have just coconut, sea breezes, and existential regret. You brought your wife, your two daughters, Leonard Cohen, Kim Stanley Robinson, Issey Miyake, and Pierre Sang. This is less Castaway, a more intellectual resort with great lighting. So how would you assign roles on this island? Who's fishing? Who's building shelter? And who's narrating the drama in poetic stanzas?
I'll definitely be fishing and cooking. I love cooking. That's what I do most. Like when I'm not working, I cook. I would be there. I guess Issey Miyake would be building the houses. I don't know if they will feel comfortable, but they will look good. And yeah, I think that would be fun. That would be just enjoying some nice time together, fishing, cooking, and looking at beautiful houses in elegant clothes, actually. If we have some ways to do clothes, otherwise we'll just be, I don't know.
So what meal is Pierre Sang cooking on day 3, and how does it stack up to the average Cannes dinner?
Yeah, that's true that if I have Pierre Sang, he will probably help me cooking, because so he's a very famous Korean, half French, half Korean cook, so I'd love cooking, and he will help me for sure, and he will be probably cooking. He will need a few extra more days probably to do some macerated stuff, so he needs some time to food change. I'm really bad at English in food. I feel like I need to improve my English language on cook and food. But yeah, he will be definitely helping me.
What do you miss? What do you miss the most? Your inbox, your team, or the chaos of adtech?
Definitely not my inbox. I hate working on my inbox. Even if AI is helping me to triage, it's very bad. I would miss definitely the events, I guess. Like in-person meetings. I'm just coming back from Possible in Miami. It was fun. I'm preparing for Cannes. I love those events. I love traveling. I love meeting people in person. I'm in New York next year. That's what I would miss most. Real face-to-face interaction, definitely.
So how long would it take you to go full Lord of the Flies?
To go what, sorry?
Full Lord of the Flies.
Not long, I think. Probably not long. That's how I am.
Would the experience make you rethink your life or double down on your mission?
Double down. I had the opportunity to think and to rest, and I came back in industry. So it's not like if I jumped straight away. I enjoyed my time off, and then decided that with the right colleagues, the right co-founder, the right team, it was actually the thing that I enjoyed most doing in my life. So again, trying to find the right balance, not only doing this, I'm doing other stuff that I enjoy, but as a full-time occupation, I love it.
So I note that Jules is driven by clarity. You were mentored by Jean Canzaroni. Is that pronounced right? Canzaneri. And you're fueled by a desire to be omnipresent across teams, continents, and family dinners. Here's my question.
Yeah, exactly.
You said clarity always wins. What is the last time you failed to be clear, and how did that blow up in your face?
It's a good one. I don't have a concrete example here, I'm sorry. I feel like probably the Google, when they change their mind. It's a very,
Can you tell me a moment? with Jean that stuck with you? It was sage wisdom, brutal honesty.
Brutal honesty on how we can improve ourselves and how we can be better. And being able to make sure that what is our role and what is not our role as CEOs. And I was talking about taking the right decisions and doing everything ourselves is probably where we struggle most in our past experiences. We work together with Jean and Thomas as well. And finding the right balance between doing things ourselves and making sure we have the right people to doing it with us. Sometimes we tend to think that we are the only ones at doing things. We are not.
So you also mentioned you wanted ubiquity. If you had it, what part of your life would feel finally balanced and what would be in chaos?
My time with kids. I mean, I said previously that I enjoyed traveling. The only thing that I miss when I travel is my family, obviously. So that's a bit chaotic. I mean, going back from Miami and then flying to New York the week after and having my family in Europe is not always an easy move. So that's definitely what I would change.
So let's say you wake up tomorrow. Actually, let's try this one first. What is one belief you hold that would get you kicked out of most ad tech happy hours?
I feel like AI is a new buzzword and that everyone thinks that it's a new word that they can use to keep doing the same old stuff that they were doing the same old way. And I feel like it's just, a lot of things. You've seen a lot of websites changing their landing page with AI recently. And it looks like a lot of companies are using it to stay longer, or to kind of refresh their narrative when actually everything they do is the same. I think that's a very convenient new trend that everyone tries to realize. And I know it's fun to say that because everything you will read about me will talk about AI, but I think that's a common mistake in the industry.
And before we go, when all is said and done, what do you want the industry and your daughters to remember about you?
That I created from scratch, that there was nothing, and then there was something fun, something where people enjoyed working at and spending time with us, and that we started things from nowhere and nothing. And that's what I like when I cook as well. You have raw ingredients and then you have a delicious meal on your plate a few minutes or hours after. And with my company, the same. You have just people working on their own and then you build a team and then you build a story and you bring some value to the market, hopefully, in the same time. That's what I like to say about my work.
And now the hardest part is we have to try to get you to dance while you're sitting in a restaurant.
I'm not really.
And that's a wrap on today's guided demolition of legacy ad tech. Brought to you by the very polite chaos agent himself, Jules Minvielle. Merci, mon frère, for reminding us that platform is just another word for excuse. When the dashboard doesn't load, and your ads are doing a victory lap on a Roku screensaver. Huge thanks to our unapologetically brilliant sponsors. Troutman Amin, the legal pit crew for ad tech's biggest risk takers. If you're launching, litigating, or just looking to not get sued into oblivion by your former co-founder, these are your people. Incremental, the measurement maniacs who actually measure, not just model, not just guess, real, testable, causality-driven incrementality, so you stop worshipping at the altar of CTRs and start proving what works. Next week, we're getting even spicier. Jean-Marc Papin from Horizon Media joins us to talk about big agency evolution, the future of attention, and why context isn't just king, it's the guy who locks the doors after the meeting starts. Until then, stay bold, stay curious, and know more than you did yesterday. Or at least more than your DSP lets you see.